Okay, so I'm just now finishing up editing this video and I'm looking back at it. I realized I was talking out of my ass most of the time. Yeah, I think I just got off a long shift and I wanted to get this video done. Like, I wanted to record this video, but I knew I wouldn't have time the next day, so I think I just decided to do it after I got off. Hindsight 2020, bad idea. Now it just looks like I'm hungover, which is wild, honestly. I also want to say that I disappeared for a bit, and reasoning is it's because I'm trying to record like multiple different videos and edit them, then schedule them to be uploaded once a week, because I really want to try to stick to this once a week thing. And I'm trying to do that with my current schedule that I have with like other life I'm trying to do that, have some videos scheduled ahead so then I could record more videos and hopefully be able to post more within a week. So like 2 or 3 times in a week. It's gonna take a bit to get to where I want, but yeah, that's basically the general plan right now. At least starting, I think, either next week or the week after next week, it's gonna be like a guaranteed like once a week upload, because I'm already gonna have a video scheduled for that. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Enjoy the gibberish that you're about to see. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we got TierZoo, how wolves broke the game. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And without further ado, let's get straight into it.
At the height of the Ice Age, the Tundra server was filled with incredibly overpowered beasts. Smilodon's Saber Fang perk enabled it to one-shot nearly any other player in the game. The short-faced bear was seemingly invincible, being the largest carnivorous mammal build of all time. And the cave hyena had an absurdly powerful bite force, able to crack bones and tear incredible amounts of flesh. It just looks like a normal spotted hyena. Yet, of the Ice Age's top predators, the one which proved to be the most resilient and indeed the most successful was the wolf. Even though wolves are nowhere near as massive or as powerful as these other Ice Age monsters, today the wolf build is practically synonymous with ferocity and hunting prowess. But what is it about wolves that made them such a force of nature? Today we'll find out. So wolves are part of the carnivoran archetype, which became popular during the Miocene update. The main perk of this archetype is something called carnassial teeth, a trait which greatly improves the ability of carnivorous builds to consume food. Rather than needing to swallow things whole, or mercilessly slam-dunking the daylights out of things until they fall apart, carnassial teeth enable the player to bite off small chunks of meat, which might seem like a small thing, but mercilessly slam-dunking the daylights out of things until...
Yo, crocodile... That's a crocodile, right?
Needing to swallow things whole, or mercilessly...
Oh no, that's a gator. No. Oh yeah, that.
The daylights out of things until they fall
Bro,
apart.
They're so ruthless.
Enable the player to bite off small chunks of meat, which might seem like a small thing, but really it opens up tons of new opportunities for carnivorous playstyles, including for scavenging carcasses and for sharing larger kills among teammates. The carnivoran archetype is split into 2 main factions, feliforms and caniforms. There are a ton of differences between these two, but I'll try and simplify them into how the differences play out in practice. At their core, feliforms are adapted to being hyper-carnivorous ambush predators, whereas caniforms are more generalist in nature. This is most obvious in their snouts, which have different shapes and lengths. Caniforms tend to have longer, less compact snouts. This enables them to carry a wide range of different types of teeth.
Alright, hold on, that's interesting, because I didn't know bears and skunks were considered, at least in the similar family group, as canines. I thought that was a whole different... I thought they were a whole different thing, but I guess that makes sense. Like, yeah, I guess pointing out the snouts is the biggest thing. I guess that definitely makes sense, since most felines, if not all, are usually hyper carnivores. Like, they mainly eat meat. Like, I don't think tigers or lions could eat vegetables or anything, right? But I guess they eat plants for digestion.
For a more omnivorous playstyle. You have some teeth for dealing damage, some for shearing meat, some for crunching bones or nuts, and even some for chewing on plant fibers. Meanwhile, feliforms have shorter snouts, enabling them to have a higher bite force, but limiting them to pretty much only having teeth meant for either dealing damage or shearing off chunks of meat. The longer caniform snout gives them other advantages too. The larger nasal cavity enables them to breathe more efficiently and intake more oxygen. This gives caniform builds much greater stamina, enabling them to run for much greater distances without tiring. It also facilitates their vastly superior sense of smell. which enables them to track prey, scavenge for food, and find teammates. So it makes sense why just about every feliform build is an ambush predator, whereas caniforms can be anything from acrobatic marine builds to slow tanky herbivores. Focusing more specifically on wolves though, pretty much everything I've said so far about the caniform build applies here. But for a more in-depth analysis, let's take a look at the wolf's base stats. So, as ferocious as wolves are thought to be, their power stat is fairly mid for an apex predator. Wolves aren't really going to be one-shotting anything larger than a rabbit with their bite attacks. And due to the non-retractability of their claws, they aren't going to be doing much damage with their paw swipe either. And yet, taking out players above their own weight class is a signature aspect of the wolf's strategy. This is typically done by chaining strings of bite attacks together in order to inflict the bloodlust status condition, which drains the target's health and stamina over time. When executed properly by a pack of wolves, this can bring down basically anything.
I mean that, but then also wolves are always in packs. They always hunt in packs, and so one lone bison like this, you're not really going to stand a chance against a pack of wolves. Especially gray wolves.
Since this is not a quick process, there's a lot of room for mistakes. So let's see how wolves handle taking damage rather than dealing it. So due to their lower defense stat, wolves are going to be mostly relying on their agility to avoid damage. They aren't totally defenseless. Their thick fur and general bulk does allow them to absorb a few blows if necessary, but it's mostly there for warmth, not combat. Their stealth stat is a similar story. Their gray fur overcoat does offer a moderate stealth bonus, but is primarily there for warmth and can be easily spotted except against a few specific backgrounds. As I sort of mentioned during the segment about caniform versus feliform builds, the perception stat is central to the wolf's game plan. Their ability to track scents is quite literally one of the best in the game, able to detect smells from miles away. But their top tier perception stat doesn't end at olfaction. Their sense of hearing is also exceptionally powerful. While many players believe the cat's hearing is superior, in reality they are roughly equivalent in terms of pure sensitivity, but are fine-tuned for different purposes. Cats are much better at sensing higher-pitched sounds, allowing them to detect hidden prey nearby, such as the sound of a mouse breathing under the leaf litter. Wolves are better at sensing low rumbling sounds, meaning they can discern the location of larger prey from miles away. And the same is true for their eyesight. The cat's slit.
Wait, hold on, so does that mean that, I guess dog whistles that go on a high-pitched frequency, does that mean they don't work? Does that mean they don't work? If their ears are more specialized for a low rumbling, then I feel like a dog whistle, or at least some sort of dog attention device that emits more of a low frequency, would be more effective than the high-pitched ones. So, I don't know. This is really interesting. I did not know a lot of this. I just want to pause the video really quick to say only 0.7 of you are subscribed. That is insane. I need you to fix it. But anyway, enjoy the rest of the vid.
Pupils allow to strike smaller targets with perfect accuracy, but are not as useful as the wolf's large circular pupils for locking onto prey from a long distance. And as I've already alluded to, the wolf's above average intelligence stat enables some excellent options for teamwork and pack hunting. They can communicate and coordinate over great distances using their howl ability. The combination of teamwork and extremely powerful perception abilities allows wolves to control massive territories. We'll get more in depth into their hunting tactics in a bit. Mobility is their second highest stat, and this greatly assists in their ability to defeat players in higher weight classes. Simply put, wolves have an incredible amount of stamina, and can run for longer distances than pretty much anything it could ever encounter. This makes sense as being able to and can run for longer distances
how
than
fast
pretty much
is that
anything it could ever
car
encounter.
Because that
This
wolf
makes
is...
sense as being and can run
That
for
wolf
longer
is
distances
booking
than
it.
pretty much anything it could ever encounter. This makes sense as being able to sense prey from a great distance wouldn't do much good if you had no ability to run them down. So when you add all of this up, just how effective of a build is the wolf? It really does come down to how effective their pack hunting abilities are. If you were to strip all of that away, I actually think the wolf would be mid at best. Their power stat is way below average for an apex predator, being more in line with that of a scavenger or generalist build. There's no way a lone wolf is bringing down one of the Tundra server's many tanky herbivores. Yet, as a player, if all you want to do is grief smaller mammal builds like rabbits and squirrels, you're really better off playing as a smaller caniform, like a fox or a mink. In order to get the most out of a wolf's kit, you need to maximize the utilization of the wolf's perception and stamina perks, which are most effective at tracking and hunting larger herbivores. So, wolves really are stuck working together. They'd be wasting their potential hunting only smaller builds, but aren't powerful enough to solo a large herbivore. Their kit only makes sense when viewed through the lens of pack hunting.
Right.
And indeed, the lethality of the wolf's pack hunting tactics is undeniable. Through coordinated attacks and clever kiting, wolves are able to prove that their squads are much more cohesive than that of their
Exactly,
targets.
and you see how coordinated that is? See how coordinated that is? They're leading them in one direction, in just one direction, keeping them out, and I feel like that's also a good way to lead out the most injured, weak, or old ones. That would be easier to get.
Their squads are much more cohesive than that of their targets, and split vulnerable members off from their teammates. And at that point, it really is just a waiting game.
See, and then
Now,
once it's just one against the rest of the pack, it's GG's. You're cooked. You're cooked. You can't do anything against that.
From their teammates. And at that point, it really is just a waiting game. Now, it's worth noting that even in a group, it's often still too risky to just recklessly
Wolves
attack.
Are D1 jumpers.
Wolffangs tend to only attack a fleeing target, so as long as they hold their ground, they shouldn't take damage. But as they tire from fending off bluff strikes, and as their teammates get further and further away, most players will eventually try and make a break for it. And this is where the wolf pack will start dealing damage. By taking turns attacking their back end repeatedly, they'll eventually inflict the Bloodlust status effect, which slowly drains the target's HP, leading to a guaranteed game over, at which point the entire pack splits the loot.
Okay, see, before this, I thought the strategy more for them was to go for the neck, or to go for more vital organs, but I didn't know they mainly went off blood loss. I feel like that definitely is a lot better, since you don't have to risk getting closer to, because a lot of animals that they go against, they have like horns or different, their main protection is near the front or near the head. So if you're not trying to go for the neck all the time, you're a lot safer just doing blood loss damage. So I did not know that. That's really cool.
This is overpowered in and of itself, but where it really gets broken is when you re-examine the same tactic through the wolf-human team combo. Because all of the things that make the wolves pack hunting work actually function even more effectively.
But how did the first person even domesticate the first wolf? Like, how did that go down? I really want to know how that went down. Like, who went out of their way to go into the forest or something and find a pack of wolves, not die in the process, and then be like, okay, we're locked in now. Like, how did that happen?
Humans and wolves are similar in that both are exceptional distance runners, allowing them to naturally keep pace with each other and avoid slowing each other down. But in addition to having similar perks, they also cover each other's weaknesses and fill in the biggest gaps in each other's hunting strategy. Humans lack the same perception stat that wolves have. While they can use their intelligence to sort of supplement their weak sense of hearing and smell, there's really no substitute to just having a teammate who can lock onto a scent at a great distance and never lose it. But why do wolves need humans? You may remember, when wolves hunt, they can oftentimes reach an impasse due to their lack of ability to quickly deal lethal damage. Humans do not have this limitation, and can easily break the stalemate using one of their projectile weapons. The same is true on defense. The wolf's sensory abilities can detect the approach of a dangerous enemy, and alert the humans of the impending threat, a threat that wolves alone would struggle to drive away. And so domestic wolf and human hunter-gatherer players naturally made for an unstoppable force that lasted through multiple balance patches, including the end of the Ice Age and the beginning of the Anthropocene. Eventually, after spending so much time cooperating, many wolf players began speccing their characters specifically to better synergize with humans, such as a passive mental health regen aura, and higher intelligence and better communication abilities, which allowed them to handle more complicated commands, eventually renaming their build entirely from wolf to dog. And because of their optimization towards collaboration, even as humans transitioned away from their hunter-gatherer playstyle, dogs still remained a relevant and high-tier choice for their party comp.
And me personally, dogs over cats. Dogs over cats. That's just me though. That's just me though. Dogs are way better than cats. Yeah, I'm on that team. I'm on team dog, 100%. Dogs are way better than cats. Rather have a dog than a cat.
This isn't to say that the wolf's only good interspecies combo is with a human, though. Among the player base who remained wild, one solid combo is with the raven or crow. They will often seek out a wolf player and lead them to a carcass they'd found far away. These POIs are usually hotly contested.
And this is really cool too, especially because of the raven's intelligence, or crow's intelligence as well.
The wolf will chase away the other players and share the remaining spoils with the bird. But anyway, in short, Wolves broke the game by finding the perfect team comp and being the #1 choice of party member for the most overpowered build the game has ever seen. They were already debatably OP just hunting in wolf packs, but were at least sort of kept in check by their mid damage. But when that limitation is mitigated, their tracking and pursuit hunting abilities are truly unfair to play against. And that's why, despite me only giving Wolves a rank of A tier on my Canid tier list, when partnered up with humanity, they are legitimately broken, giving dogs the rank of S tier.
Hey, and I feel like that's fair.
Individuals is pretty
on the
much
rank of
always the
canines, I feel
optimal
like
strategy.
that's fair.
And if you've followed my channel for any length of time, you've no doubt heard me talk about my favorite team combo, Nebula. Nebula is a streaming service.
AW sponsor, but that's where we're gonna end the video off. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. And yeah, that's basically it. W Wolves, W TierZoo. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.